Hello everybody. It's me, it's Andy. And I'm here once again with Mikey. We have yet to start proper moonbasing, but hello Mikey, welcome. Hey, you're working. Oh, hang on, you're not actually... Talk again. Yeah, you're not coming through on the Discord chat, so let me set that up properly. That should work.
Fool.
Oh god, you're peeking like crazy. Okay, keep talking.
This is peeking like crazy.
I should probably copy over my limiters and stuff, but I'm not going to be bothered to do that. Not this time. But hello, everybody. Because Mikey, this week I recently went through all my scenes and nested, quote unquote, the audio. So I had to rearrange things. So now you're in a completely separate track from me. I'm a separate track from you. I have a YouTube soundtrack, a Soundclips soundtrack, a music soundtrack for the intro. My microphone, the game audio in the Discord chat, all on separate bits of audio. So if I don't like what you're saying, I can just mute you.
I don't have a game.
What? I don't have a game. Of course I do.
That game audio.
Yeah.
Not doing a game right now.
No, but that's all of the audios nested in one big file.
Just saying, you said something and I'm just pointing it out.
I got game audio. It's for every game. The problem is I have to when I start playing a game, I need to select the specific game. But it's fine. It's, Twitching stuff. Twitching stuff. Yeah. Or the streaming stuff. You got to be prepared for it. You got to be ready. That's how it do. I shouldn't have this screen up. It's just like the screen, so that's fine. There's the audio. There's the Transformers news. That's the stuff that people are here for. The good bit of content, in quotations. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Mikey, do you want to start recording a poopcast? Should we do that now? Or should we wait a bit? What do you want to do? Do you want to tell people about illegal things?
Park your car in the double yellow line.
Oh, shit.
The power.
Damn, son. Okay. I didn't know you were going to drop war crimes this episode, but that's fine. Whew. Double yellow lines. That's a bit intense, but okay. Mikey, I will play us some audio. Hopefully it will work. And then we can start pooping, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's get the audio rolling.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy, and I'm joined by the little bundle of joy who doesn't poo. It's Mikey G. Wolf, V2, or V3, depending on the day of the week. Hello, Mikey. How are you doing?
Oh.
Are your bowel movements well?
I haven't asked them in a while.
Oh, no. You should eat some fiber.
Their business.
What do you mean it's their business? It's your business. It's your bowels. It's your poop.
I'm not asking them how they are. I don't care how they feel.
You should. You should care about people's feelings, Mikey. Come on now.
Satisfaction is for people who are doing a better job.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, try harder.
Try harder, he says. All right. Well, we're here today, everybody, to talk about Transformers. Believe it or not, it's what we do. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? Have you had a good week? Has it been fun? Because, that's the thing I should ask. People care about you, Mikey.
They don't.
Yeah, they do. They love you. They love your little face. Your little gooey chin, your little furry mustache. I guess I don't know what you have. It's been a while since I've seen you in person.
Oh, you're not really used to the whole complimenting thing, are you?
No.
Doesn't come naturally to old Andy.
Well, it's more like you don't hear it, you don't know how to you imitate what you have of what's done to you, right?
You just stare blankly into the middle distance when someone asks you for an opinion.
Exactly. What do you think? I hate it when people ask me so what do you think of this thing I've done, Andy? I'm like, I don't think you want me to be honest. I think you want me to be nice. I don't know.
You think of this thing? Yes.
I love it. Do you, Andy? Yes. Do you actually? My eye starts twitching. I start sweating. Yes.
You just start shaking and screaming, "Take your answer!
Just
Take the answer you were given!"
Please stop asking me. Please, I'm begging you.
Who are you to think you deserve the truth?
Exactly. You don't know nothing, Jon Snow. Nothing. Let me tell you.
Oh, God. Is that meme dead yet?
What, Jon Snow? Probably not, right? People still remember Game of Thrones as a failure, so it probably lives.
I think people remember the idea of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I think people remember House of Dragon more now. I think that is now like going to be a bit more of a zeitgeist.
True, House of the Dragon seems to have been received much better, but I don't think it's like cleaning off the shit on the top of your shoe, right? But you don't clean the underside of it. You still know there's shit there, right? Yeah. It's just the top's nice, at least. You go, oh, top of my shoe's nice and clean. The bottom of it, we don't talk about the bottom of my shoe. You get it?
Vaguely.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's the main thing. Mikey, shall we talk about some Transformers?
Yeah, sure.
All right, well, we're going to start off with the quote-unquote crappy news of the week, because evil reared its ugly head. As Transformers Rise of the Beast Funko Pops, we've discovered, again, a new range. There's going to be a RC, a Bumblebee, a Mirage, Optimus Prime, Primal, and Scourge. These are, of course, the famous landfill figures themselves. They're going to be, well, they are 3.75 inches tall. Or for your centimeter sex hounds out there, that's 9.53 centimeters. They're made of vinyl. They're urban-style design.
Hang on. Mm-hmm. Centimeter sex hounds.
You heard.
I did. I just really need to process that sentence.
Yeah, centimeter sex hounds, because, you know, it sounds bigger. What sounds bigger? 3.75 inches or 9.53 centimeters? Centimeters.
Number.
Big number, go big. That's why I'm saying it. They have the urban style design, which is very kind description for Funko Pop, I would say. From the film Transformers Rise of the Beast, and it's got windowed packaging. It's what you would expect. We have no images of what these will be. I think we have a vague idea of how they will look, though, knowing, you know, Funko Pops, what they're like. Mikey, you're a big fan of Funko Pops. You even own some because you're a Satanist, so...
No, I own one that I gave to my mother.
You own a few. You own a few.
No, I own one.
You were thinking about getting an Ian Malcolm that was spread on a bed with a shirt open.
I think about lots of things. I don't necessarily do them.
But you considered it.
Well, like, I haven't. So don't put me in that bracket, sir.
You own more than I do.
I don't own any now. So my mother owned ones because I was trying to throw it out and she wouldn't let me.
Hang on, why wouldn't she let you throw it out?
It was cute.
What was it of? I can't remember.
Grant.
Oh, okay. All right.
She liked the hat.
Oh my God, old ladies
now it
do.
lives in her wardrobe.
Oh, you're going to stay in my wardrobe, Ian Malcolm. Or Alan Grant.
Me.
Get in my fucking wardrobe, you bastard.
Does sound like my mother's accent, yes.
Oh, wow. Impressive. What do you think of the idea of the movie pop vinyls coming? Actually, did we get any other Transformer pop vinyls? I think we did, right?
I'm sure there are. I mean, there's G1 ones, there's some movie ones already. I think it's just Optimus and Bumblebee. I don't think there's any, like, Megatrons. There's, like, a Unicron that's, like, a foot tall or some nonsense. But,
oh, my God.
It's Funko Pop Transformers. Sure is a thing.
Do you think they'll do well?
I think they'll sell as well as any Funko Pops do nowadays, which I think is actually a little less than they used to because the artificial scarcity thing isn't quite what it used to be for Funkos.
Okay.
The whole... Yeah, I'm just looking like what option. Yeah, you've actually got loads.
Yeah, that's why that's why you might have heard me go ew, because I'm just looking and there's actually quite a lot.
There's even like a Jetfire Macross one.
Yeah.
But like apart from like the really, really hardcore people, Funkos just are kind of now like impulse buys.
Okay.
Or from what I understand from talking to people, they're like the Funko collector who collects Funkos and nothing else, and is obsessive and has to get every variant and everything else.
Oh no!
And then there's kind of the one that's like, well, I bought 3 or 4 of like characters I liked or whatever, and then for the most part, it's just like, well, I was in a shop. Sure, I'll buy a Funko. I mean, they're still everywhere. They're still like an entire bloody half an aisle in Smiths, but I don't think they're just doing as well as they used to. At least, not in Ireland, anyway. Definitely knocked off there, but
I wonder, chat, people who are watching the live stream at the moment, do you own the devil's instrument? Do you own the Funko Pops?
if you are, would you mind leaving?
Oh, man. Man, that's mean.
Am I joking?
Well, that's the thing. Mikey says things, but he never jokes. It seems like they're already like hedging their bets with quite a few of these characters being a big deal. I can see like okay, if we're generous, I could see people buying an Optimus Prime, maybe Primal and Bumblebee, maybe RC for the novelty, you know, because you don't get many female Transformers getting Funko Pops. So I could see that for Scourge, unless he's a big deal in the movie. Same for Mirage. Well, is that a suggestion that Mirage is going to be a big deal?
Based on trailers, it looked like he might be the main human contact.
Yeah, he might be the Bumblebee.
Yeah, and like Scourge is supposed to be the big bad guy.
Yeah.
For what that will, well, listen, like for what that will mean.
Who knows?
I think I will decide if I think this movie is giving me good vibes or a lot of bad vibes when we see like the runtime. Because if the runtime's like 3 hours or something like that, I'm Jonah just go like the wrong lessons were learned.
Well, we do have like a second trailer coming out. I didn't add it to the news story because I was like, well, there's not much, to talk about. But there is another trailer coming out, so hopefully that'll shed a bit more light on the, the actual story rather than just things doing things.
I don't think it will. It's like a minute long.
I know, but I can hope. I can hope that there'll be a smidgen of story, at least just to give me an idea of what's why there are giant robot animals that aren't in disguise. That kind of stuff. Maybe some subtitles that will make sense. That too.
There used to be just like a natural assemblage of giant robot animals, and they're actually very closely matching them.
Wow. CyberPro UK says, I have a Ghost Rider one because it's me. Also, I have a bigger one scaled Voltron because it was free after I did a shop a favor. Oh, wow.
So you broke into a shop and did the favor of stealing their Voltron, and they basically let you because of the gun, or?
I mean, that sounds fair. I mean, I would have just given the vinyl pop away myself, but it's a statement.
Yeah. You're just taking the money.
Yeah, but the vinyl pop's more of a punishment.
But it's just like, I got a free one. I committed several arsons and crimes and break-ins and.
CyberBro UK says, I stopped a thief. Oh my god. Wow, that's cool.
Hang on, now this is just sounding like... Hang on. This is just tying into my story too well. I stopped a thief. In this case, me.
Oh my god. Wow, there you go.
I stopped the thief. How? I left.
I like to believe CyberBro UK powerbombed him. Because that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Picked him up, powerbombed him through like a table.
God, no.
I know.
He started like beating him with the Voltron.
Oh my god.
And when he finished, he was just like, oh, the package is bent. Can I keep this?
Nope, it was a clothesline. Oh, that's still good. Bradshaw did some good clotheslines back in the day. Especially if you turned him inside out, like when The Rock clotheslined Rikishi and he did that little spin in the air back in the day. That'd be pretty cool if that was the case. Probably not that intense, but still. We live in a world of dreams.
I'm assuming are related to wrestling.
Yeah, they are wrestling words. You know The Rock.
Love.
Yeah, you do know. Like you pretend like, I don't know anything about wrestling. You do. You do. You know The Rock. Come on, because he's such a big star.
You know him because he can act, and yet he's the biggest actor in the world.
That's true. But let us move on, Mr. Mikey. What's the next story we got? It's movie related, so that's fun.
Yeah, it's really going all out this week, lads. Transformers Rise of the Beast Titan Changer Phantom listing discovered. So this is Phantom, a code name for the Rise of the Beast Spark Changers listing. Receiving 2 toys, one of which is going to be Titan Changer. Codename may indicate that it is not a reissued character from a line such as Energon Igniters. Basically, there is a character out there under a codename of Phantom. I mean, Stratosphere might be the obvious one to think it is.
What is a Titan Changer? What is that?
I don't remember what. I know the toy line name, but I don't remember what they are. Let's see. I remember that.
It's not a Titan class scaled figure, though, is it?
No, God no. What was Titan Changer? Is a word I've heard before. They're really. I think they're. Yeah. They're really, really simple, like one-step kind of toys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so nothing too impressive. I see. I couldn't remember what a Titan Changer was, and I was wondering, is that just a fancy name of the Titan class that they're going to be using for the movie? I guess not. Then.
Do you remember? It came before like Authentics. Those really simple, tall toys.
Is this like just post Evergreen design? Or is this just like the intro?
No,
to
this is like movie days.
Then no, definitely not.
You know the cheat horde that's coming up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of them.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. Well, you can take the next story if you like as well, since that's just a quickie and there's not much to talk about.
I might as well get it out of the way. Transformers Reactivate. A couple of months back, there was a rumor going around of Transformers Rise, which was going to be a game released by some company, I can't remember the name of, that seemed to go quiet. But then all their assets seem to shift over to Splash Damage, a company I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Now, they have put forward a trailer for Transformers Reactivate. This has also had press release and everything else. It was at the Game Awards 2022, where I got to see Christopher Judge talk for many, many minutes and then hug Al Pacino.
I think he was a little high.
I think he's probably always a little high. So this is a 1 to 4 player online action MMO that's being developed by Splash Damage, who we'll go into who Splash Damage is in a while because there's a little bit of misleading stuff here in the article.
Oh my god.
The gravest threat to humanity has arrived and has already won. Earth's no longer ours. It belongs to them. All we have is our hope for the Autobots as we salvage them in a land of rubble left behind. We'll offer Transformers Reactivate will offer players a chance to immerse themselves in the Transformers universe like never before. They will get to play as some of their favorite characters, unique, weighty, and powerful, seamlessly converting between vehicle and bot form as they battle the Legion, the greatest threat the Autobots have ever faced. Oh, you do not know the half of it. Because I don't want to bog this whole thing down, please go to TF Wiki and search Legion. Enjoy. I'm not giving context. This is going to be an MMO. An MMO first-person shooter by the looks of things. It was a cinematic trailer. It was a fairly high-production cinematic trailer, where like 4 humans seem to be putting a transformer back together. It's not like got any information on gameplay, story, in-game graphics, or anything like that. It is a pure, like, you've seen this kind of trailer 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Just anything else interesting in here? Like the CEO put out the usual yarn of I grew up in the 80s, I love Transformers, blah 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 blah. We've all listen. It's a game company. We've all heard it. It's went way bigger than in social media circles anyway than I expected it to.
What do you mean by that?
Like, people got really excited by this.
Is it the concept that we're getting a bigger budget Transformers game and we haven't had one of those in a while, more so than anything else? Because I saw a lot of people really excited about it as well.
Necessarily getting a bigger budget Transformers game.
Well, it's the perception though. It's the perception that it is a bigger budget game. That's what people are assuming from the trailer. At least that was the reaction I saw.
Yeah, we've seen some cutscene stuff, which is cutscenes look incredibly simple. They do have like full voice acting, and it looks like you're gonna. I don't know if there's going to be an in-game story because it's an MMO. It could be a free-to-play MMO for all we know.
There'll probably be a very light one, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, maybe not. Hey, Overwatch.
That's not an MMO.
That is. Oddly speaking, it's following the same principle I think this game is going to follow. Which, while they're calling it an MMO, I think it's just going to be an arena shooter.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think you're getting a developed story or anything like this. I think you're going to have like a couple of cutscenes or stuff that are going to be worked in there. I'd be surprised if there's a developed single player mode. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I'd be shocked.
Like 1 to 4 online, like that is like suggesting more of like a Gears of War up. But I don't know. Like I'm dubious of anything like this because I think it's probably going to be free to play. If I'm honest, I think this is going to be a free to play game.
You'd hope so. If it's that kind of like arena shooter 4v4 with the market as it is, you'd kind of hope it's one of the freebie ones from a company that people generally don't know. Like I'd never heard of this company before. This creative studio.
Yeah, but like you said, like people were getting like you and I both saw a lot of people say it's great to see it in a AAA Transformers game again, and it's just not. It's just splash damage. You're not going to make splash damage. Or not like if you look at like the list of AAA companies and stuff like that, and then like if you look at AA, which is stuff like Platinum, like splash damage aren't even on the A's.
Oh.
So I was really cute. Like, is it an online shooter game? I have no interest in anyway. It's an online shooter game, Transformer game, which means I think it'll have a 6-month lifespan at best because that's what they have. So I'm just going to preface that I have zero interest in this game because it's just doing nothing I'm interested in, and it's not being done by a company that's going to produce a game that I'm interested in.
Well, let me play devil's advocate, Mikey, in case people who are listening might want to like combat you.
Like if you're happy about it, I ain't knocking you for being happy about it. Just like it means zero to me. It's like finding out that Overwatch 2 came out.
Well, I think it's more like how can I'm sure an argument could be, and I think it's maybe a fair argument. How can you judge the game when you haven't even seen gameplay for it? What would you respond to as that? Like again, this is a devil's advocate point. Where would you go?
But like
there?
I think one thing you have there I think that's a good point, of course. But I would also say like the genre, the first person online shooter genre is a limited one. It has very clear boundaries that most games that function in that do have to function within. Now, doesn't necessarily mean this does as well. But for me, the big thing was I actually started looking into splash damage. They are a company showed up in the early 2000s based on modding and stuff like that. They modded, I don't remember what it was, but they eventually got a little bit of attention, a fair bit of attention when they did an expansion to Wolfenstein in 2003.
Which Wolfenstein was that?
Don't ask me which one. There was one out around,
I guess, whichever that one was.
And I think they won a BAFTA, or they nominated for a BAFTA for like something to do with games. Okay. Which considering the time, like the idea of a game getting a BAFTA or anything like that. But overall, their production has very much had a wheelhouse, which is they are brought in to specifically give multiplayer assets and a bit of matchmaking management to games with online features.
Right.
So Gears of War, Halo would be the biggest ones they've done. And when I say assets, I mean like they do maps, they do a little bit of level design, and they do, like I said, matchmaking. They have produced a game, a mainstream console and PC game, Blink, I think it was called, in 2012, which made a small bit of money, but was largely received as like a fairly unremarkable online first-person shooter.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I did. I don't think it was, like you say, well received at all.
They've also done a couple of iOS games. Again,
right.
online FPS kind of stuff, and again, not really big names in any way. Something they have very, very little experience with is actual gameplay. Actually crafting gameplay. Very, very, very little experience putting it together.
So this will kind of be a new thing for them to do themselves. All right.
They have no experience putting story together. Or actually writing, bringing in good writers and stuff like that. So
you never know. They might bring the A game, and it'll be a turning table for them as a company to boost them up to that double A status.
Hey, I'm not saying it's not going to be, but I am saying I'm going by evidence, not wishes.
Yes, if Mikey was a betting man, he'd bet on what was presented in front of him using past evidence, right?
I think this will probably be I think this will have problems anyway because one, it's Transformers license, which means while it will probably try to ride Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
We all know that the energy from those movies lasts maybe 6 months to a year. So you'll have the initial wave of people who start playing it. If it's a full price game, you'll have that initial rush of sales, which will include people hyped up on the movie, and or if it's a free to play, you'll have that initial rush of just everyone trying it because it's free. That'll drop off within a month, and then you'll only really have the hardcores. Either the game will have really good gameplay and get very lucky, and then whatever, or it has like the kind of gameplay I'm probably expecting, which is kind of just approachable stuff. And it'll have a 6 months to a year of support, and then that'll either die down a lot, or it will basically kind of fade into the background entirely. Because that's kind of the cycle of like you go through hundreds of these kind of games every year. Like Gundam just had one come out there recently, and it had a big spike for its first month, and it's, from what I understand, it's gone down basically to a very, very, very core player base. Obviously doing a lot better in Japan than it is here, but I'm not expecting a different pattern.
No, that's fair.
What surprises me is that this isn't the first time we've had one of these, but it's the first time we've had one of these that's going to go global.
Was Universe not global?
Don't think Universe ever really got off the ground properly.
I mean, me and Jai played it, so was that not it getting off the ground?
It was still in beta with them.
Was it? I thought that would go its quote unquote official release, but it was free to play. Again, it's been a long, long time, so I really can't. I remember playing it, and that was about it.
2012 or something like that, where all that meant something different anyway. But, so yeah, I'm not like I said. I don't really care if people are excited or not. Like the second you have like FPS shooter, my brain turns off. It's just not a genre I get excited for.
Do you like the art style then, from what we saw from the trailer and we see in the posters and the images?
The trailer is very normal.
I would say it's like you watch the trailer, and to me, until the end, it doesn't look like any kind of Transformers game. It is difficult to pick out as a Transformers product. Like you said when we first talked about it, it looks like a generic game trailer for a sci-fi post-apocalyptic world.
Like that's what it like. It looks like a fairly nice game trailer, but based on current standards of graphics and stuff like that, this is kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
No, I don't have much. I'm just not interested in it, to be honest. I wish I was. But like game trailers never get me excited anyway, because games are so wrapped up in their gameplay. That having a trailer of a planned cinematic means very, 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 very little to me. And then seeing like people getting really excited about the character roster as well is a little odd to me, in that it's just like, hey, it's Ironhide, Ratchet, Optimus, Bumblebee.
Oh my god!
Soundwave. There's no shocks there, but like I don't know. I feel a bit bemused by how positive some of the social medias have gotten over this one. I hope it is good. I really hope it is good, but I just don't care.
I think, again, it's the conjunction of there are a lot of people who are very happy for a lot of the current products that are out. So there's Legacy, which a lot of people... Well, let's just go through. Legacy, which some people really love. There's the Rise of the Beast, which people saw the trailers of, trailer 4, and again, same kind of group really liked that. They had Earthspark, which they really enjoyed as well, and now they're getting this game, and it's another thing. So it's like, from their perspective, I think it's like 4 big things that covers a physical medium, a movie aspect, a TV medium, and a video game medium. It's kind of the main 4 mediums, and I think a lot of people are happy just to get those things.
Like, we'd all be happy to get those things, but specifically this and the Rise of the Beast, I do not get the reaction quite so much, because like they are just things you've seen 1,000 times before.
Yeah. But some people just want that, to be fair. Some people don't.
Listen, I'm not going to say what people want or don't want, because like people are just going to say, what do you mean that's all I want? But like from looking at it, like, just because like it's like seeing people react to the Last Night trailer. Because like I remember seeing the exact same stuff. I remember doing it a bit myself because I thought that first trailer, I still say this, is a better movie than the movie we got. This, like, I always think it's weird how excited people get over a 30-second, 1-minute cinematic trailer for a game when we know nothing about the gameplay, how the models will look in game. Like a basic thing to cover.
I don't know. I got pretty excited when I saw that 2018 God of War trailer.
No, but like I didn't, because I was just okay, cool. Well, it's great the game's coming. I was like, cool, the game's coming. What about the stuff I have to care about to get me to spend a not insubstantial amount of money on it?
Mm-hmm.
That when I started seeing like what the game was going to be and its approach to story and stuff like that, then I got excited.
Generally speaking, though, I would agree. Like Ragnarok. For the most part, when I see trailers, I get interested. I'm sometimes interested in the Armored Core, the new Armored Core trailer. I'm interested in, but because I don't know what they're gonna do with it, they can go down two routes with the new Armored Core game. They could go down make it just like another Armored Core game, which will make veteran fans of Armored Core very happy, or make it play a bit more. I don't know how you do it, but if you incorporate more Dark Souls-esque gameplay elements to it, however you do that with a robot game, that would make that core group happy as well, and make me happy because I never really liked playing. I liked the build aspect of Armored Core, but I didn't love playing it. You know, I am
at the stage of my life. It's like Dark Souls gameplay is joining a lot of like buzzword phrasing from gamers. I would like to go away.
Yeah, but that's because people have used it incorrectly.
But I also don't like the Dark Souls style of gaming.
No, you've never enjoyed it. You've never enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it. The closest I've enjoyed it is God of War, which I feel like kind of just does it. It very vaguely, lightly does it, and then but then also says like, "Look, you can have fun at the same time," and look, there's a reason you're doing this.
No, I would disagree with that. That's a poor take, but that's okay. We're allowed poor takes.
Elden Ring means nothing to me.
That's fine. It doesn't need to mean anything to you.
I just don't think it's great. Played it now.
What's that?
Played it now.
Okay. Did you finish it?
I got bored after half an hour and uninstalled it.
So the answer was no, you didn't finish it. Okay, that's fine.
No, did I finish the game that it sometimes takes you 100 hours to finish? No, I didn't.
No, that's all you had to say. No, you didn't. That's fine. Like I said, if you didn't like Dark Souls, Elden Ring was not going to be the turning point.
Why didn't you give One Piece a chance? Why didn't you give One Piece a chance? God, did you make it to episode 782? No. Then how did you not give One Piece a chance?
Are you talking to me here or somebody else? Are you seeing somebody in chat saying this stuff? Who hurt you, Mikey? Who hurt you?
You know what the dark secret I have is? I did give One Piece a chance. I watched up until what was it? The one that got everyone hyped years and years and years ago. The CP30 with the kidnapping Robin, yeah, the kidnapped Robin, and it's like, oh my god, she's a friend, and like you couldn't go on the internet without seeing the word Nakama being like rammed down your throat.
You just changed the topic, chat. You just changed the topic. That's okay. That's okay. I tried One Piece when it was on 4Kids, and I got 2 episodes, and I'm good.
Wow,
I'm okay.
That's going back a few years.
Yep. I didn't like the art style. I've never been a fan of that art style, so it wasn't for me.
Can't read the manga. I can't trade. Like my eyes cannot follow what is happening on the page. In its defense, it's probably better than Bleach. Not exactly a high bar.
No, but in terms of popularity, or at least people's interest, One Piece is still going, I suppose. And the writer, I still think, likes writing it.
Bleach
like
is
the guy
on
who did
TV
Bleach.
again.
Yeah, I know. There are people who are really hyped for the Bleach stuff going on at the moment. I'm like, what year is this? Have I died and gone back in time again? Oh my god.
I'm kind of like,
people are talking about Kenpachi. I'm like, Kenpachi? Oh my god, I'm 13 again. Well, I was older than 13, but you know what I mean.
I remember, I think it's like I was at the stage where I was like pretending to struggle through mangas. That I like, basically, I'd hate a manga, but I'd still read it because I was looking for something to do.
Oh my god.
Bleach, this Bleach story is one of the worst stories and worst endings to a manga I know of.
What, the current one that's being adapted into the anime?
It's a fucking disaster. So I don't know why
no.
people are excited, because they thought it was a disaster back in the day.
Are they rewriting it? Are they doing anything to the story? Or are they just
It's just an
adapting?
adaptation.
Oh, okay.
The last adaptation, they're getting the last story arc, which is basically this writer who has admitted he stopped caring years ago, is throwing everything at the wall and hoping what sticks.
Yeah. Well, people are happy about it, so that's good.
Listen,
People love it.
People are, as long as everyone's happy.
Yeah. Except you. Let's see. Big Swing and D says, I feel like Mikey just spoke directly to me about One Piece there. Oh my god. There you go. I made it like 5 episodes in, and I think it's just nope. That's fair. Cerebro UK goes, Common Mikey. I gave Tetris a chance. After 99 levels, I understood the plot, and it really turned a corner for me. You can give anything a chance. Well, there you go, Mikey. You just need to learn the blocks.
I have seen people who have lived Tetris. You have not given Tetris a chance. They have lived Tetris. They breathe Tetris. They have a healthy obsession with Tetris.
Let's make a statement, and I'm
also,
okay to stick by
what
this.
Is Tetris' plot? Hang on. What is Tetris's plot? I want to know this.
Did you watch Chernobyl? It's that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's all about putting the graphite back into the power plant. You just got to line it up right. There you go. You got to do it before the plant explodes.
So what? The elephant foot is just like the final boss, or?
No, that's the bad stuff that happened. Oh. Big Swing and D says, oh, Andy, you sob. How dare you? Looks side-eyed at the complete stack of Bleach manga. Oh.
No.
Oh. I mean, at least it's all published, so no delays. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's the thing. Yeah. Mikey, let us move on. I'll take the next bit of news. This is the Transformers Collaborative Project Bear listing. Now, people have been speculating whether this will be a crossover between Transformers and Winnie the Pooh. Will it be the crossover between Transformers and Cocaine Bear, the project that's about a bear on cocaine? I don't know if that's a real movie, if that's a meme or something like that. It could be a Care Bear thing. That would also make sense. Mikey, when you saw this, what did your brain percolate? What did you think Project Bear could be? Do you think it's even about a bear or bear-related things?
I can't think of any bears, so like I'm assuming it's not actually bear. Like they all had like weird, like pseudonames, didn't they? Like,
I can't remember what the other ones were, to be honest. Pseudonym-wise, I mean.
Yeah, no, I just remember like they had weird names.
Oh.
Don't remember what they were because Hasbro has this weird, almost military approach to its code naming and stuff like that. But hey, bear. Cool. Just make it a bear.
Just
Project
a bear.
Bear.
Yeah.
Transformers collaboration bear.
Oh, what's that famous Japanese wooden sculpture of the bear with the fish? You know, the wooden one.
I know the one you're talking about. I don't know the name of it.
No. Yeah, maybe they do that. That'd be a weird one to do.
Is there any like Yogi Bear?
Well, that's why I said like Care Bear, because that's like Care Bears came out around a similar-ish time to Transformers, so that could make sense.
The word bear in them now, though.
Do you want an obscure one?
Bear Grylls. There we go, Bear Grylls.
Do you want an obscure one? Do you remember the 90s movie called The Edge?
Yes.
Yes, with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. Do that. It was a bear.
That's actually sad because that was the last movie that bear did.
I wouldn't be sad. That was a good movie. The bear should be happy.
No, he died.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's not going to be happy he died. He should be happy that, he got to star with Anthony Hopkins and to a much, much lesser extent, Alec Baldwin. I like that film. It's stupid. It's silly. It's one of those weird, like, 90s survival stories, which I'm completely down for, even though you could... If someone said to me, Andy, The Edge is a shit movie, I'd be like, I'm not going to fight you on it. I still enjoy it, though. It's a good time. I think they crash because of pigeons, like seagulls, don't they? The seagulls fly into the plane and the plane crashes down.
Yeah, because that was a thing then. That was a big thing. I remember that was in the news. Like, should you be afraid of birds flying into your engines?
I think so. I'd be afraid of that.
I don't think the bird would really like it.
No, the bird's definitely not going to be... it's not going to be dancing for that kind of stuff. But yeah, Project Bear, it could be something. We know we got another Transformers X project coming, so that's a good thing if you want your weird and wacky Transformers, because that's what the X series is. It's the weird thing, right? It's the thing that you're like, I don't know if I like it, but it's weird, so it's kind of fun at the very least. And it's better than the crossover Star Wars figures we got thousands of years ago at this point. It's better than them, so it's a high bar, I know. But let me take you on to the next bit of news, because that was just a quickie. We have the Authentics Titan Changes, Cheetor and Soundwave figures. So these are your baby toys, effectively, of Beast Wars Cheetah from the movie. He looks like a thing. And Soundwave, who again looks like a thing. Soundwave is G1 Soundwave, though, of course, and Cheetor is the movie version. What do you think, Mikey? Do you look at this robot mode and think he looks like he's been ran over by a car, and that you'd like to add him to your collection?
Like a very flat robot that turns into a weird, chunky four-armed thing, except like he's got his hands hanging down, so it's kind of like he's in pantomime outfit.
Oh, see, that's a lot better than my perspective was he was in like a furry suit.
Hey, Soundwave's the Jeep.
He is. That seems to be the new go-to now for Soundwave. Wow, he's got some fucking legs on him. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Chonky.
What do you think of him? Do you like him? Because he's a...
I mean, God, I have no interest in that, but these are like so not aimed at me. No,
they are very much your 4-year-olds kind of Transformers.
Yeah,
it
basically
says
like
6-year-old plus. What 6-year-old wants this? I wouldn't want this.
People who just want big.
Yeah, I guess you got to have them big to be good. I suppose. I mean, I guess it's nice that the movie Cheetor is getting a toy. I'm surprised it's a G1 Soundwave, but maybe this is the kickoff of the line. And I'll take this one as well, because it's kind of not very cool either. We have another Buzzworthy figure. People love the Buzzworthy line. They're totally not remnants of other shows, just bunged into a box and put on Bumblebee. This is Bumblebee and Dinobot Swoop. They're a combiner team, very, very similar in a lot of ways, I suppose, to the Energon series. One would become the pants, one would become the top. They're very simplistic Transformers. We've seen this before, haven't we, Mikey? These kind of
this literal toy before.
Oh, we've seen this one, have we?
This came out in Cyberverse during season 4.
Did it? So is it just a repackaging? Have they repainted it or something?
Package, all they've done. The only difference is on the package they now have a picture of Bumblebee.
Oh wow!
And even the background package is the same.
Oh no! So was this?
So they've Bumblebeed it up, but the toy itself is identical.
Is this the assumption that they just had some leftover stuff and they went, just throw them in a new box kind of deal?
Oh no, because they did technically have to make. They probably had to make these.
Oh, you mean inject mold them kind of stuff? Okay, all right. So you think so? Why do these again? Why do you think they do them again?
I have no idea. I don't know. Bumblebee's popular. They're going to do a movie that's going to have Bumblebee as it. Bumblebee. I don't know. It's Buzzworthy. We do not try and figure out why Buzzworthy does anything.
It's always a strange thing. Always strange. Here's a question for you as well. We're going to be getting on and talking about some legacy figures, at least one legacy figure a little later on, but I do have a question. Where are the other two Insecticons? We've had Kickback, and we're now on to what? Wave 4's coming, right? So Wave 5.
Yeah.
And we still haven't had Bombshell or Shrapnel or Hardshell.
Well,
I can't remember if they've got the license for that.
Technically, we're only in tier 2 of Legacy.
Are you suggesting... Oh, no. Are you going to suggest that they're going to spread one Insecticon per part of the trilogy of Legacy?
I mean, would you be surprised?
Actually, because, we're done with the first part of Legacy, because Tarn's, the second part, isn't he? That's the evolution.
That's start of part 2.
Yeah. So that's the evolution. So yeah, I guess we need to have Bombshell a Kickback there, and then save the last one for, I guess, the last part of the trilogy. Weird. I always find it strange when they when they do this to the Insecticons and just separate them by
I always find it
years.
weird they start with Kickback.
Do people love Kickback?
I would say Bombshell's the main Insecticon.
Yeah, well, maybe you hold off on him. Maybe they start off with the one that people assume, or they assume is the one that they like the least. Maybe that's the idea.
Just Bombshell. When I would say Bombshell's like the one that's always been pushed narratively. So I would say he's probably the main one. So I'm always surprised they never start with him.
Narratively, they push him, and from a G1 collector standpoint, the old men like us kind of thing, Shrapnel's the leader, so he's the one, I suppose, is pushed for us, and then there's Kickback, who's there.
So you say that, apart from that one time Shrapnel got a toy, is Shrapnel ever pushed?
You mean, well, you don't need to push him for G1 fans, though, do you?
I mean, but you need to make him.
Oh, no, yeah.
So I mean, he's not. I just don't think anyone thinks about Shrapnel because he's like the least distinctive as well. He's Kickback's kind of the classic visual,
right?
And Bombshell's the one who is always in stories because he takes people over. And then there's Shrapnel, whose biggest claim to fame is that there's 3 of him in Cyberverse.
And he was the leader in the G1 cartoon.
Was he?
Yes.
I always thought it was Bombshell because, again, all the stories were about them taking over people's brains, so they were always about Bombshell.
No, I'm like, chat, you gotta help me out here. Who, from your perspective, people who watched the G1 cartoon, who was portrayed the most as the leader? Was it Bombshell who was portrayed the most as the leader in the cartoon, or was it Shrapnel? Let me know, and I'll let Mikey know as we go through. And you can check it out as well, Mikey. TF Mike seems to be happy you're back, Mikey, and he also says Shrapnel, Bombshell is 1, Kickback is meh. Shrapnel repeats himself. There you go. TF Mike says Shrapnel repeats himself. Yes, Bombshell is leader in cartoon. Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't think that was the case.
Andy was wrong. The world continues to spin.
Well, let's see. Cerebro UK goes, the Sparky Head was the leader. The Sparky Head. That was
Sparky
Shrapnel.
Head wasn't the lead. That's Bombshell, because Bombshell did the Sparky stuff.
No, he didn't. He shot the Cerebro bugs out of his head.
Yeah,
Shrapnel had the lightning come down.
Sparky.
And Shrapnel called down lightning, and it made his head go Sparky. There you go. Bombshell was the leader in the comics, Shrapnel in the cartoon, Kickback just there for kicks. Oh, God. Big swing indeed. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. Stop that.
But he's not wrong. Andy is right. Deal with it, says Cerebro UK. There you go.
That's never happened before in history. It's like saying, Alex Jones has a point. Deal with it.
He's hilarious, though. I love watching him. He's so funny. He's crazy. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So to speak, Rise of the Beast 2-in-1 masks are a thing now.
They are.
So these are 25 centimeter high masks intended for children from 6 up. Inspired by the latest film from the world of Transformers, each of them depicts a main character from the film. Their mask can be worn and transformed into a figure.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see the mask, but we see the figures. They look really crappy. It's Bumblebee and Primal.
We talked about the Primal one a while ago, if you remember. Yeah.
Was I here for that?
That's the thing I'm not sure about. I do remember making an image for the show where I used the mask and put it on to Hannibal Lecter because I thought it looked silly.
Yeah, they look like what they are. Like they're a gimmick toy. I've got nothing else to add to it, I'm afraid.
Well, I remember, again, I can't remember if it was you or was somebody with, I guess it would be Jason, but we said the Prime looked particularly uncomfortable in mask form because there was an entire, robot spread across the inside of the mask. And I think the assumption will be the same for Bumblebee. I guess it's kind of interesting. Bumblebee has these cables for obviously attaching for the back of your head, but it seems like he's using them for, I don't know, semi-weapons or like power conductors or something like that. I think the Bumblebee, visually speaking, has an interesting look. I don't think it's executed well, but if you turned off the lights and used it as a silhouette, that would be an interesting Bumblebee silhouette, right? Because it's a bit different because he has the weird cables. He has different shoulder pads that you'd usually have, and he has the wing doors as well. Do I think it'll be good? No. But it's different. A little bit visually. So that's something. Mikey, What's next?
Right. So, first toys for Transformers Rise have been officially revealed, which are Battletrap and Bumblebee. So these are the, I want to say Studio Series 100 and Studio Series 99. So 99 is going to be Voyager Battletrap. We have seen this guy before. It's just a bit of a better images of him. He's going to come with what looks like a retool of Bulkhead's mace. And he has a very movie-esque face, a bit more color. And he's from Bernie's. I wonder if that's actually like a movie reference from movie 1.
Beanies.
And then Bumblebee, who looks pretty lackluster with the lack of paint, to be honest.
Here's the thing. It's consistent yellow, at least.
Yeah.
It seems to be consistent for the most part.
He doesn't seem to have the usual off coloring, but very plain lack of paint. Like silver is painted, but that's about it. But apart from that, like you've seen this silhouette of Bumblebee 1,000 times before. Doesn't look like he's doing anything particularly new. Like his vehicle mode's a bit more chunky.
Do you think they can make him that much different? Because isn't Rise of the Beast meant to be like a prequel to the Bayverse movies? Isn't that the assumption?
I don't care about continuity anymore. It's a load of nonsense. The Bonaventura is a pain in the hole, but until they basically, like, that's like saying like all the X-Men movies were a prequel. Like, oh, we see First Class was a prequel, but was it? Because the timeline made no goddamn sense.
No. They pretended they did, though.
And they'll do that here until it's not profitable. So, I think that it's kind of like, it's just following, like, the same... Because it's got a very standard movie Bumblebee silhouette now, instead of, like, the Volkswagen one. I don't think you're going to see much crazy new going on in the engineering or anything like that.
What do you think of Bumblebee's eyes?
They are wide. They are supposed to be the Volkswagen Bumblebee eyes. Problem is, the Volkswagen Bumblebee has a very round appearance, which works those eyes, whereas this just looks like this incredibly hench dude is just like glaring at you with murderous intent.
It does look a little bit like his eyes are about to explode, or the Werther's original is just colored blue for some reason.
It is also possible.
Oh, do you I don't think this looks desperately good because there's practically no paint on his face, right? But here's a way you switch it up. Do you remember Evil Nightmare Bumblebee from Dark of the Moon, who's black and red and had the fire?
Oh, yeah, I liked him.
Do that with this and make those eyes really scary, because they're already scary, but if you paint them to be worse, they could come across really, really sinister. And for a muscle car, with the roll cage on it and everything, that evil Bumblebee could make a rise again, which I'd be down for. I don't think the figure looks great. I said it looked consistent for the yellow. That's not entirely true. It looks like there's some yellow paint, sickly yellow paint on the translucent windshield. But apart from that, it looks hopefully like it'll be consistent. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of undercarriage again. It's kind of the same for Battletrap. Battletrap had a lot of undercarriage like hanging down from below his vehicle mode as well, and it looks like Bumblebee's going to have either his like knees or his legs or his arms kind of flopping down there as well, which is not the cleanest look. But
no.
Hey-ho.
Oh.
Yeah. Another movie Bumblebee. I wonder how popular he will be. Maybe.
I would be curious to see the stats on how many Studio Series toys are Bumblebees.
No, Mikey. Less than Primes, maybe. Maybe less than Primes.
I think they would be more.
You think so?
I don't actually think. There's only like 4 or 5 Primes.
How many Bumblebees are there?
4. Because for God's sake, there's like 4 from the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah, that's technically true, I suppose. Yeah. Huh. Well, there you go. Okay. Anything else to say on Battletrappo or the Bumblebee?
Any opinions yourself?
I think I've voiced most of them. The problem is obviously not caring too much about these movie verse wise. It's hard to get too excited. I'm a little sad we haven't seen Scourge because I thought his design from the trailer looked not very good from my perspective.
I would like more detail on him.
That's why I want to see what a toy version looks like, because maybe the toy version conveys a little bit more of the detail, a little bit better than what we see in the trailer, which is just a grey blob for the most part. But
so.
Yeah. Shall I take us on, Mikey, or do you want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about this, or do you want me to talk about it?
I'll do it. Let's just get out of the way. So we have leaked images via Sonic Bomber Core on Facebook of the Legacy Evolution Leader Class Transformers Prime Universe Skyquake. So this is an upcoming, not announced yet, but clearly being made.
Are you
figure
sure?
Of
it's a rumor, Mikey.
Yeah, I was going to say TFW's gotten very certain all of a sudden. I know. Who could this be? Is it possibly maybe? So this is by modern leader standards, actually he's noticeably taller than a Voyager. He's not as big as Leader Grimlock, but he's still quite chunky. Figure based somewhat on both the Generation 1 Skyquake and the Prime Skyquake, so it's just kind of taken aspects from both. We get to see him in robot, we get to see him in vehicle mode. He comes with a Gatling gun, he comes with a sword, and we get to see a lot of detail. We get to see the face up close, and the face is having problems with color in that there isn't any.
No, there's the silver. A lot of it.
Is that silver?
Yeah, it's like gunmetal gray, silvery kind of gunmetal. Yeah.
It's suffering from having the looks like there's going to be light piping in the head, which means the eyes are dead. So unfortunately, it does mean unless you're looking at the face really up close, basically it just kind of sucks you in. So this is yet again another figure in the hey, did you know that we are not going to do show accuracy for anything that's not Beast Wars or Transformers G1?
No, Armada. Armada's accurate.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, before I give my opinion on this, because like I said to Andy earlier on, I've had a weird journey with this over the last day. I just want to know Andy's opinion, because you like Prime, you like G1 Skyquake. I do. Did you like Prime Skyquake?
Like Dreadwind a lot more. I think my main issue with Skyquake was his colors were really lame, like the olive green. A mainly olive green Transformer with a kind of a muted red and silver was not a highlight. The blue with the yellow and the orange works way better than Skyquake did. Skyquake. I was not a fan of Skyquake's color scheme. The model itself was nice, and I think, oddly enough, Skyquake felt more like... you know how you get the Transformers usually, and you're like, oh, this is the one that they made... But it's not who it's meant to be, like Alpha Trion. It's like, it's meant to be Broadside. Obviously, it's Broadside, or it was Leo Convoy or Leo Prime. That's what Skyquake felt like. It's like, oh, Dreadwind was the real one, even though he came late season 2. I mean, the colors still kind of feel the same way when I look at this figure. I'm like, that's olive. That's a lot of olive without any real highlight. They've tried a little bit with the silver to make it pop, but again, it's like olive is a color. Green olive, for me, is a color that you'd use on a generic troop because it's not bright. It kind of mushes into the background. I wouldn't have used it as a primary color for Skyquake here, but I understand why they did. So that's my opinion on at least this color scheme on Skyquake from Prime.
So you're just kind of focusing on the color. What about the figure itself?
For this figure, it feels a little... This is more of a me issue, right? It feels like an insult towards me. Do you remember back in the day, Mikey? Let me take you on a journey, Mikey. Come on the car with me. Do you remember back in the day when Andy was so happy when he read Last Stand of the Wreckers for the first time? And Andy was so happy that he got to see Skyquake. One of his his figures, his toys that he had as a kid. I love that preview. Loved it. It was so good. I got to see my boy Skyquake, the Predator Jet leader. I still got him today, and he died. And I was like, oh, thanks, Nick. I love you, buddy. And there's been a deep-seated hatred ever since, obviously, between the two of us. This feels once again like an insult thrown towards me. It's my boy Skyquake, but it's not. It's like he had sex with Transformers Prime Skyquake, and this is the weird robot child. It's got an elements of him and them, and it's almost something that I'd like. It's almost there. If it was painted like the G1 colors, I would be obliged to get it, but I'd still be mad. I'd still be mad because it's not G1 Skyquake. It's kind of this weird one. If it does get a G1 repaint and it gets a new head, I'd be over the moon. I'd be like, hey, whoa, babada boopy, gabagoo. But I think he's going to keep the weird head because I really am not a fan of this head sculpt. I see what they've tried to do. They've tried to use the basic shape from the Prime version of Skyquake and then the forehead crown from the original G1 figure, and I don't think the two mesh together desperately well. And like you said, all being in pewter gray with no eyes makes it kind of messy to look at. It kind of at a distance, I think it's easy to go, what is his actual face? Because it all just mushes together a little bit for me. But again, if we get a repaint, I'd even go for a repaint into. I saw some people do digibashes for King Atlas. Was it King Atlas?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really good as well. Granted, I still don't like the head. I was like, oh yeah, I'd buy a King Atlas too. I always wanted one of them. What do you think of it, Mikey? You like it?
My first response was I was very amused by how many people, like, within 2 seconds of coming up and said, like, oh, yeah, I have no interest in this, but man, if they do the G1 repaint.
Oh, also, it's another figure that's not Transformers Prime, but it's G1ified. And like you said, Beast Wars, the animal modes get done to be more realistic. All right, fine. Armada not touched. Armada's clean. It's pure. It's allowed to be Armada, and it's only Prime. It's only Prime that gets touched. Until animated, which might get touched as well, to be fair, and made to be G1.
Apparently Prowl has been seen, and he's very G1.
Yeah, somebody said the chin was cut off, I think.
Yeah, and there's some interesting responses online of people who are getting a wee bit precious about people who don't agree with their opinions on toys.
Welcome to fandom, Mikey. What can I tell you, buddy?
Yeah. I went on a weird journey with this guy.
Okay, tell me on your journey.
So, I had an initial thing of just like, oh, I like that design a lot. And it was followed by like, but it's taken another character from a thing I love being down, not getting show accuracy. And that went on for a while, and then it hit me like I spent years begging them to stop doing show accuracy, to do original takes or like creative approaches to characters or anything like that. And like a couple of years ago, it would have like I would have been complaining like, okay, the Beast Wars are being done, but like I'm kind of bored that they're just the show models. Why not do something else? And like we justified it by saying like, well, at least it's like a case it's never been done before for them.
Yeah.
And so on and so on. And this kind of played out in my head for like about 8-9 hours, and then I woke up like, and weirdly, this was the first thought I had. I'm going to try to be less of an old man about this.
No.
Like, so basically kind of settle in like, I'm going to stop complaining that they're not making the thing I want it to be exactly the way I want it to be. I'm just going to go, do I like it? Do I not? I have my reasons for liking it. Have my reasons for not liking it. And I'm just going to try and enjoy it all a bit more because, like, engineering-wise, Legacy has a lot more to it. And roster-wise now has a lot more to it that I'd be interested in.
I hear QC on the latest wave is a bit on the ropey side.
Last ones I handled were some Velocitron stuff.
No, the point blank wave, that one.
Oh,
that wave specifically is apparently quite on the ropey bits.
He just looks bad.
Well, yeah. But there's the other ones as well, like Skullgrin, who again has the a rubber head, which is unfortunate. I thought that was hard plastic, but it's rubber, unfortunately.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
That's gonna die in a few years.
No.
Yeah, like Skullgrin, no interest in whatsoever. Just like really cared about the Pretenders in any form, shape, or form, and he doesn't transform into anything. And the best defense I've seen for that is they go to real effort to make him not transform into anything, which is an interesting take. But
I like that. That's an interesting take. They try hard to make him not transform, but also transform.
Like Skyquake, he is like an interesting. He looks very not transformery.
What do you mean by that?
Doesn't look like a transformer. He looks more super, like maybe not super robot, but like you said, like generic mecha dude.
Do you think that's the color? Like I would say, is it something
shapes.
about the mold?
Shapes for me.
Mm.
It's especially like particular types of angles, kind of the size of the legs and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like individual to me, and like the fact it's got this big clear cockpit. That feels like someone should be in there to me.
Okay.
The biggest problem I have really is like the paint in the face loses all the detail.
Yeah.
There is some detail when you zoom in it. Like there is an expression there, but like you lose a lot of the detail. I also find it very amusing that we have 4 figures, all that came out within a few years of each other. Studio series, which is, we all know it's just Generations. We've got a Generations figure from a couple of years ago, and then we have a Generations figure from recently, and then we have a Generations figure that's coming up. And none of them look like they're from the same line.
No.
Their aesthetics are so wildly different. It's an interesting one. Also, I can't be the only one who thinks that Grimlock, like, apart from my own hang-ups about it, just looks a bit shit in that picture.
He's so wide. Like his shoulders and like the dino legs and like his cuffs, like his below the knee is really big, like really big.
It's weird.
That's strange. Just noticed
he's
that.
Supposed to be like that anyway, but then
not to that extent, I'm sure, right?
I've only ever seen him, ever had a chance to handle one. So, yeah. So putting all that aside, I think it's a nice looking robot mode for whoever it's going to be. I don't mind the color choices so much because they remind me of the Smoke Sniper and Gigant Bomb repaint from RID.
Oh yeah, that wasn't my favorite version of them, but I can
have
I see
a
where
lot
you
of
come from.
fondness for that version.
Okay.
And for me, the big problem is the painting on the head is just combining the big one style crest with the recessed eyes in particular is it's kind of like how you can never tell what Final Wars Godzilla is looking at. His massive feckin' brows mean you don't ever see his eyes.
But that was because he was angry. That's all that Godzilla was, just angry. I remember he threw that spider with hatred in his heart.
He did. He showed up recently in a special, actually.
With the spider or that version of Godzilla?
Version of Godzilla. Godzilla versus Gigan for a big Gigan anniversary event. They actually redid the Godzilla suit.
Was that the new Gigan, like the Lord of the Gigans, the red one?
No. That's a different thing.
That's a different thing. Okay.
This was they remade Showa Gigan. They remade a
wow.
Showa Gigan suit, and they
cool.
somehow managed to get the nearly 20-year-old Final Wars Godzilla suit in working order and give it a new head.
And it didn't it hadn't melted.
Oh, that's why I'm like, because people like these suits are not meant to last.
No.
Like technology's like, especially like 20 years. Like, oh boy.
Which is weird because you would have thought they would like, knowing how popular Godzilla is in Japan, you would have thought they'd, even if they're not going to use it, they'd throw on like a preservative or something like that and give it to like a Godzilla museum or something like that, or a
I think
prop
it
house.
was on display.
It must have been.
But obviously, I don't know what the story is. But yeah, so it became Final Wars versus Showa Gigan. It was up on a live stream, and then it was up on YouTube for like 10 minutes, and I saw it, and then it got taken off of YouTube. It was all right, actually.
Okay.
Directed by an Ultraman dude, so it was all a little bit too fast and quick.
All right, okay.
But that's like basically kind of felt like watching a Sentai. Yeah, so Skyquake, any other thoughts?
I think we'll get, at the very least, a repaint for Dreadwind in the future, in some form or another, whether it'll be Bumblebee or I don't know. There's a few messages that people had for me while I was talking about it. Big Swing and D said, look, Andy, you know by now that there will be a Generation Select repaint as G2 Skyquake. I don't know. I would think that might happen, but I don't know for sure because it feels like it's been a while since they've done a Generation Select figure that wasn't just a Diaclone. But it could happen. I wouldn't like the idea of spending even more than the current amount on it. TF Mike goes, so why don't you get it, Andy, and just repaint it yourself, or have someone repaint it for you? Purely on this basis, I don't think I know for a fact I don't want to buy a 55 pound figure and then repaint all of it poorly, which is what I would do. Yeah, it's an expense. It's already way too expensive for what it is, and I don't want to go through the extra effort to then paint it into a color scheme I like. I'd rather just not buy it and just be grumpy, I suppose. that could be me. And like I say, this is a very just me problem. Not many people like Skyquake the way I probably do. Or I imagine the numbers are lower than most, you know. So that would be my thing. But yeah, I think like Big Swing D probably is closer to the mark. It might come to Generation Select, or it might go to Bumblebee. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think Dreadwind's the safe bet because he's a main character, and I think they could throw him into Legacy pretty easily. Mikey,
Velocitron Dreadwind.
What's that?
Velocitron. Velocitron 2, the Velocitroning.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that. Because we still got to get the rest out of the G2 Stunticons, and we've only got one of them so far.
If they decide to do that, they may have just decided to go like, listen, we need to fill away quick, easy repaint.
Just do drag strip and then none of the other ones. Oh, that would piss off people. Oh, was that it? Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Not drag strip, it's just a dude.
That's right. It's a separate person. That's right. My bad. I apologize. Mikey, what's the last bit of news for today?
So we've got a bit of con news, very quick. TFCon LA, March 10th to 12th, 2023. We'll have the special guest of David Kay, who has voiced everyone from Megatron to Ratchet to your mom.
Oh shit!
Clank, rather, not Ratchet.
No.
To Jobby the Hong videos. So yeah, David Kay is going to be at TFCon in Los Angeles, because he lives in Los Angeles. And meanwhile, in Los Angeles as well, he will be joined by Alex Milne, EJ Sue, Casey Collar, Jack Lawrence, Josh Bertram, Josh Perez, and Livio Ramondelli. They will descend en masse as one single entity, known as The Artist.
Oh my god. One giant entity.
Giant entity. It will have many arms and only one table.
Kind of like the giant beast at the end of Akira, that thing.
Exactly.
Oh,
but
Jesus.
With art.
Each limb will draw a different style of Transformer.
Yep. Eventually, one of them is going to just start trying to dominate the others.
Who will it be?
We all know who's going to start it.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to finish, but we all know who's going to start it.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
And yeah, that's the news.
That's it. Okay, nice. Oh no, Mikey, don't be diseased. Come on now. Don't do that. Well, Mikey, as ever, I look at you in the face and I throw pennies into your open mouth and I say, Mikey, what you been doing this week? What you done for fun?
That's fun because we've got a physical thingy going there. So I'm going to catch up on some other stuff I didn't mention last week.
Oh my god.
Some stuff that's worth mentioning, I think. Just because I have very work busy and catching up and stuff, so I don't have much like fun on the bone to talk about, but from this week. But let's see. I got involved in a book project.
What kind of book?
Dungeons and Dragons, of all things.
Lame.
Well, it made 180,000 on Kickstarter. So.
Oh, is that because of you?
Yes, specifically me.
Oh my god, Mikey! Wow.
It wasn't 180,000. How much was it actually? Let me see. So yeah, a friend of mine, he was doing a dinosaur Kickstarter thing.
Oh, I think I saw you promoting this every now and again on Twitter.
And I wanted to help out a while ago, and then suddenly like that grew, and now I'm like an official consultant on it. And we were looking for 11 grand, and we got 160,000 pounds. So it was like. Oh, a little bit more successful than planned.
Mikey, you're going to be like the guy who consulted for Jurassic Park, who, like, 10 years later or more, like, people will be saying, you got this wrong, stupid. You're going to be that guy. People are going to be telling you stupid.
I mean, to be fair, they're doing that now. They're doing it live.
Oh, they're doing it now. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. This guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about, idiot.
We've already been accused of using AI art.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's not your fault, if that's true, which I don't think it is.
It's not. We know the artist personally. we like one group on Reddit was obsessed with the idea we were using AI art. I'm like, no, you're using AI art. Well, we're not. You're using AI art. Because that's the new thing everyone hates. Which I do think AI art is just like lazy as fuck. But,
apparently, it does take some artistry to use it correctly so it doesn't fuck up. But I don't know much about AI art, and I have no real boat in the race.
Not necessarily the AI part of it. That it's usually taking, without permission, taking other people's artwork as a base.
Yeah.
A bit of it, for me, is not a nice thing.
So it's like most things. It's a tool, but people are using it in a negative way. So it's not like people are against AI art. They're probably more against the implementation of the art, of the use people are using currently for it.
And obviously it spirals out of that. But
definitely, yeah.
So yeah, that was something I worked on. It's still going. I've still got stuff to do with that. Did you see Kamen Rider Black Sun?
No, because I had horrible flashbacks and remembered Kamen Rider Amazons and went, oh no. I don't think it'll be like that, but I do have that fear inside of myself.
It's how to describe Black Sun? So anyone who doesn't know, Black Sun is an anniversary mature version for Amazon. Which got a global release, but was almost impossible to find on the globals because they didn't have it in English for some reason.
Why would they?
So you actually had to like go through a hidden link, or people had to send you the link to get it, to watch it after you paid money to watch it.
Oh my god! Oh no!
So what? Basically, it's a retelling of the story of Kamen Rider Black, but changes. It's more about the perspective of a young activist girl in it. The basic story is it's set in a world where monsters are, kaijin are living in as part of the world, and they kind of live alongside people and everything else. And it's basically about racism. And it is not subtle about the particular people in society it's decided are draining society's resources in the modern day, shall we say. It is not subtle.
Okay.
And like, because it's like, yeah, there is literally a moment where someone says, yes, LGBT people, they do not breed. We will grind them up for food.
Oh, I thought you were going to say VTubers.
No, but there is literally a moment where someone literally says in English the words LGBT, followed by turn them into food. Because they don't reproduce, so they have no value to society.
Is it a monster that's saying that, or is it like a human?
It's a prime minister.
Oh, okay. It would have made sense if the monster said, let's turn them into food.
It gets complicated with the monsters and stuff like that. But, and yeah, Black Sun, and the Black Sun and Shadow Moon, and they were two young pro-kaijin activists who were also experimented on when they were kids, and you've seen this story a million times. Sure. But, I'll tell you this is not Amazon's. This is the most 90s-ass 90s toku, 90s toku. Do you remember Hokkaido?
The remake or the original?
The remake.
I remember hearing about it. I don't think I ever watched it.
Remember Zio?
Oh, yeah. That was great. That was really good.
Remember Shin Kamen Rider?
I remember Shin Kamen Rider to a lesser extent.
So basically, imagine the most 90s things you can do, and this show does it. It's so weird. The writing's pretty decent. The action's pretty good. Aesthetics very, like, the monster aesthetics are purposely retro, very, very purposely retro. Okay. Whereas the writers aren't. They basically, the idea is like everyone's a monster, so they're not called writers. They're just a monster. It's just like because of something special about them, they have belts. But there's like even like they've got like a really monstrous form, and then like the classic. The one that's on all the promos, and even it's still a monster. Like there's a point where he like starts trying to eat someone in it, but it is so violent.
In a good way or in like a really obnoxious way like Amazon's was?
In a cheesy as fuck way.
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
There's like, he punches a spider monster in the stomach, pulls out its guts and starts swinging him by his guts, and then there's a bit where a whale monster starts killing a crab monster, and like blood and guts and everything else are literally spraying out like a fire hose. Like, it's really fun. The story
sounds
can
like
be quite...
original Amazon.
Yeah, it does have a bit of that. The story is quite overall fun, but it's not like it's a 6 or a 7 out of 10 show. I think it has some pacing issues. It has some story. A lot of the story stuff does not bear up to scrutiny when you think about it.
Okay.
Like, there's a very core concept about the creation king, and it makes no goddamn sense when you actually think about it.
Right.
But this really good soundtrack. And the first proper henshin scene is really good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I wouldn't go back and watch it. I watched a few clips, but I wouldn't go back and watch it. But I had fun for about 70% of the time I was with it. Considering Amazon's was like having my face dragged across the floor at the back of a car, I think it is the best mature themed Kamen Rider thing.
Okay.
By a wide margin.
I think I'm happy to not watch it and just stick with Zeto. That's probably my peak Kamen Rider movie.
I think that's perfectly valid. Zeto is a better movie.
Yeah.
This is like a 10-episode series. I mean, that's just some like weird shit. Like, they have to the Black Sun uses the sword. His sword is his grasshopper leg, which he has to rip off. But there's a nice detail, like, essentially he uses that, loses it, has to rip off another one, and you realize he's stripping down to a more bare classic black look.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Not a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Ending's a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Oh, wait, I was gonna say, is it like a Blade kind of unhappy ending, or is it just like badly written? Do you mean?
They're going for one, and they kind of hit the other.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't think I said how I felt about Revice's ending, did I? I wasn't here for that.
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't think so. Let's say no. Let's say no.
Like I said, Kamen Rider Revice ended. The way I would sum it up is the first 28 episodes are a really well-told, tight-knit story where clearly the writer was being given a lot of freedom, and then the producer started coming in and interfering. Because you can see things like the portrayal of George change significantly until they needed him to be bad again for an episode. The number of toys being marketed skyrocketed for a tail-end Kamen Rider show. The last 20 episodes, I've never seen a Rider show stick that many toys in.
Yeah.
Like, writers being pulled out of their ass that would have one episode and do nothing afterwards. Same with forms, everything else. The show basically ended like 4 episodes early, I think, and they had 4 episodes where they had nothing to do, so they just kind of came up with some fairly lame plots. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I would say, like, the action's great. It's got a really strong cast. A really, really strong cast. It doesn't have the best
they don't know
designs.
what to do with most of the time, right? To be fair.
In that last 20 episodes, definitely.
Yeah.
They have no idea what they're doing with them.
I mean, you say the last 20 episodes, that's like a third of the show.
A third of the show.
Or more. Maybe more.
That means you're going to get a good chunk of the show you're going to feel very targeted and focused, but
yeah.
Then you're going to hit a point and you're going to realize, like, oh, we didn't have a plan for any of these guys.
Or someone kept touching the pie when they shouldn't have.
It really feels like producer hands on the wheel. It really, really feels like that. So
where
I
would you
say
rank it, like, in between Kamen Riders? Would you put it more as like a Forze, which we don't have a good opinion of, or would you put it more in the Drive section, like the middle of the pack, or like an XA, which is like top of the pile?
Drive, because, like,
yeah,
for me, I could see a lot of potential in Drive that they never hit, and I see the same thing here. It's not Wizard, where I think the potential was wasted completely, but it's where I feel like I can feel someone pushing their hands on the back of your neck, telling you, right, the toys.
Yeah.
The toys. But yeah, I've been watching Geats. I'm up to date in Geats, which now suddenly went from having no antagonist to, I think, 3.
Oh, okay. I still haven't watched any more.
Who are going to be working against each other.
All right.
One of which is just like Weird Garden Man. you have to watch the show to get that one. But yeah, it's going well. Some good plot stuff, and they've, like I said, they've completely undermined the nature of the game, which is really important. They've also included a lot of stuff about like mystery building in this last couple.
Okay.
Which was good. Yeah, so I'm enjoying Geats. While I was away, I watched Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex, which was a 7-minute short involving, as Andy called it, the Big Gigan, which started off everyone saying it was a standalone thing, and then it turns out it's actually secretly a sequel to the Heisei movies, and specifically, it's the first portrayal of adult Junior Godzilla.
Oh, wow.
Very briefly shows up at the end of Godzilla vs. Destroyer in just like a scene of roaring.
Huh.
But the Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex is Junior, all grown up.
What was his Japanese name? I can't remember. Was it Junior or was it something else? Midori or something?
It was Little Godzilla, and then it was Chibi Godzilla.
Okay.
Then it was Junior. It was Godzilla Junior. He had 3 names, but
of course he did.
But yeah, he's in it at the end. We get to see what he looks like. They've redesigned him, which I like, so he doesn't just look like Heisei Godzilla. And he has a cool ass super mode. It's just pure white, which also makes everything look like the whole thing. It makes it look like it's a 1950 black and white film, which I think is a lovely visual effect.
Yeah.
But it's only 7 minutes. It's on YouTube. It's worth watching, in all honesty. Apart from that, like the biggest thing would be Earthspark.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched Earthspark. Yeah, so watched it all over the period of a couple of days. Yeah, no, I think it's about a 7. Just like getting it out of my head. Like I don't feel my mind is blown by a lot of it. There's a lot of things I really like. I'm sure you talked about Earthspark at one point.
No, we didn't, because I didn't want to spoil it. And I asked the chat if I should talk about it one week, and they say no, give it another week. And then a few more weeks have gone by, and now you're back, and now we can talk about it if you like.
Okay, so yeah, basic premise. Family moves out to the country. Boy is kind of a little snot, to be honest. Him and his sister fall down a hole. They accidentally create brand new Cybertronian life. It turns out Cybertronians have been on Earth for a while, and the wars stopped. Optimus and Megatron are working together. Meanwhile, there is a guy called Mandroid who believes that he's got to save the world from the Transformers. Most of the show is about the new Transformers, the Terrans, Twitch and Thrash, learning how to live in a family. Most of it is life lessons, stuff that you want your children, because I would say this show mostly aims like 6 to 8 rather than the 8 to 10 range.
Yeah.
Like the stuff, hey, they're like, your parents will tell you things and you won't like them, but they're always coming from a good place. Having been a child and an uncle and seen parents and everything else, that's just a lie. But like, you all need to learn how to fit in. You all need to learn how to follow rules. You all need to learn your place in families and stuff like that. It's very conservative in that structure. In that it lots and lots and lots of animation are doing these kind of by the book slice of life stories. Like it's very, very personally intended to like reinforce lessons at home. They're reinforcing lessons before they're telling a story. Most Transformer shows are telling their story, and the lesson is in the story.
Which is a better way to do it, I would argue.
It's certainly one that's going to appeal more to like older ones. Like if you're trying to teach a 6-year-old a lesson, for me definitely. But I'm thinking like I think they want to teach first and entertain.
I'm trying to think like the classic shows like Fraggle Rock and stuff. I don't think Fraggle Rock did that. I think their moral was built into the episode, and then they'd explain it at the end. Generally speaking, I think the better written shows do that, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm trying to be nice, Andy.
I'm just trying to be objective, Mikey.
Not. You're never objective. But then like they work in some stuff that like is very much going in a different direction. Once they hit anything with Megatron is hitting a very different audience. Him and Optimus especially. They're setting up Decepticon.
They almost have an interesting story that they never get around to doing.
Well, they're still telling it. It's like it's literally part 1 of season 1. Like it's not even like, at least they're not pretending this is season 1. They're saying like, no, this is just part 1. We're just we're doing the batch releases. So Optimus and Megatron clearly have something going on. They're working for Ghost. They don't. Megatron is not shy about the fact he doesn't trust Ghost. Optimus is not shy about the fact he just kind of wants to. He doesn't necessarily trust him. He just wants to because it would make his life easier.
Very irresponsibly just wants to trust them.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of that. And they mostly only appear in a few like the middle of the show, like the start of the show is setting up the premise, and then Optimus and Megatron are big in it. Then the middle of the show is just the slice of life stuff. Like the most kind of like transformery thing you get is an episode with Swindle. And then the last couple of episodes are really more on the Mandroid, Ghost, Megatron route. Megatron takes quite a big center stage for those ones. I really like Megatron. I really, really like Megatron. Obviously I like the idea of the reformed Megatron anyway. It's like it's just an old hat of mine, but Rory McCann I think is doing a great job with the voice to the point where he's doing such a good job. Sometimes I laugh to myself when he just falls into his natural, really Scottish accent. It's just like, wow, Megatron just went like the whole 9 yards, didn't they? But I like the design. I like his design a lot. I like his characterization, and like I like that there's never a feeling of like, oh, when's he gonna betray you? It's like, well, no, he's very clear about his point of views, and he does seem to have a real relationship with basically everyone he has a relationship with, which is nice. I think some people are always going like, oh, when's he gonna betray you? And I think that's just like you're expecting it because that's what you grew up with. The show is not creating that image at all. I think this is the best TV Optimus we've had since animated. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as animated, but I'm saying he's the best one since animated. He's quite human. He speaks like a person. He uses contractions. He's a bit of a goofball. But he's also like Alan Tudyk, I think, does a good job when he's getting serious and everything like that. So honestly, like I have to thank him for that because he's the least Peter Cullen Optimus we've had since the 2010, 2011 period.
Yeah, animated basically.
Animated was much better. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, sure, yeah,
because he was fantastic and he's my favorite Optimus Prime. But it's just like a big palate cleanser. And I'm horrified they're going to make it go away because like the second Rise of the Beast went Cullen and the trailer for reactivated Peter Cullen, I was just like, oh no.
You knew they were gonna.
I'm really, really sick of him.
You knew they were gonna do that though. There's no way they weren't.
Really tired of Peter Cullen. But what else? There's not a ton of them in it because again it's that family rules thing, but fights are very well done, very well choreographed. They're quite creative, and
people were losing their mind over those action sequences, and I watched them after like people raved about them and went, yeah, they're nice, they're all right.
They're nice. They're just not a big part of the show.
No, they're very rare.
And I watched some of the storyboarding, which I thought was excellent. Like the storyboarding, I think was like rave worthy for the Skywarp fight. But apart from that, like I just think it's very good, solid choreography and thinking outside the box and how to use like the different moves and stuff like that. Character-wise, humans are fine. Robbie, it has a problem with like laying out its story. It's very rapidly paced. Robbie's given a pretty weak-ass reason to run away from the home, which is he feels lonely because he doesn't have Wi-Fi. Then he forgets about it 10 minutes later, and it's never really brought up again.
No, he's got a Transformer pet to play with now, so he's all right.
The thing is, him and Mo are not characters in the show. They're POVs.
Yeah. Twitch
and Thrash are the main characters. Robbie and Mo just sort of set up scenarios for them to do things. Mo is very distracting because she has a completely different animation style and design style to everyone else in the show.
Because she's a kid, really she's very, very big-headed. I think they're trying to make her cute because she's younger, but she comes across as looking weird and bobble-headed.
Looks like she wandered in from a different series.
Yeah.
Because no one else in the show has the same aesthetic.
Not that there are a huge amount of human models, because they can't afford it. But they stick out distinctively.
Robbie doesn't look like cheapified.
I think again, it's just because of the age difference between them. I'm not saying it works well, but I think that's the justification.
Overall, it's a 7. I'm enjoying it. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of Rory McCann. Megatron, I like the robot aesthetics a lot. There's some really good designs in here. Don't care anymore that Optimus has a face. Every podcast I've heard that mentioned it, like, spent way too much time talking about the fact Optimus is a face. It's 2020 almost. We know what this is now.
I think people can complain about the face design because I still think it's too long.
Very long.
It's very long. But yeah, I don't mind that he has a mouth underneath the faceplate. I don't mind that. I just mind of how it was designed, I suppose. It looks a bit weird.
You just want to like stroke it all the way down. It's the fact that he's got this really long face, but like Megatron, who's next to him, does not.
Yeah, he has a much better designed face. I don't like the weird symbol. Is it on this forehead? Yeah. Looks like he's been branded. I don't like that, but generally, I think Megatron probably has the strongest design out of the main cast, apart from, spoilers, Soundwave. I think he has the next best design.
Soundwave is cool.
He's neat.
I really like Soundwave.
Even though, again, he was, I saw people hyping him up on Twitter, and I saw the episode and was like, it's all right.
It's not G1.
In terms of what?
Just not G1. It's like it's a different Soundwave.
Oh, Soundwave. Okay, that's what you mean.
So yeah, that's kind of my big take on Earthspark. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it's going. Andy, what do you think?
Well, I didn't like 5 of the episodes and felt that they wasted my time. Those were primarily the life lesson ones. I'm quite happy to say that they're a waste of time for anyone that wants like a story that isn't just listen to your parents. Don't listen to strangers.
Obey authority. Okay.
Yes, Mikey. The 5 episodes that promote fascism. Yes, I'm not a big fan of those ones. I guess I found those kind of dull. There was very little to them, and I thought as a child, if I was a child, I wouldn't have enjoyed those episodes either. I would have much preferred to watch a G1 episode. If we're comparing it to G1, they felt more like the shit episodes of G1, like Power Glide's Love and Bot. It kind of felt to me more like those where you kind of watch them and you go, okay. I won't watch those ones again. I think, like you said, Prime and Megatron show promise, but the story aspect of what they do is a very, very small part of this section of season 1. I hope that gets filled out more because that's the most interesting part, and we spend next to no time with it. We spend more time with Twitch and Thrash learning how to do things. I was really annoyed that in the first 2-parter or whatever it was, where they save the kids, they're able to transform, and then straight away the next episode they can't transform for the sake of that episode. For no particular reasons, just you need to learn how to transform. They could do it without any issue, but now we've got to write a reason for them to need to quote unquote learn how to write. It's like that kind of writing where I sit down and I go, I'm not a big fan. Like I suggested, I don't think it makes Prime an interesting character, but it doesn't make him as a convincing leader when he is very submissive to the human authorities. Like he said, he just wants to get along with them. This is a character who should have been in a war leading his troops, and he's very much like, this clearly evil human organization or slightly nefarious human organization is just like imprisoning Cybertronians and doing some... I'm so like Prime's perspective. I don't trust them enough to tell them that there are 2 new Transformers, but I'll still work for them.
Yeah, I wish I knew what was going on with Bumblebee. I think they've drugged that out a little bit.
You mean why he's in hiding, or?
Yeah, like what's the point?
Yeah, again, I guess it's just is it an excuse just to keep him on the farm? Probably from a planning stage, it's an excuse to keep him on the farm. But what's the narrative reason, I suppose, to keep him there? Yeah, I wasn't impressed. If like 5 episodes of a 10-episode half of a season, I don't want to watch. I can only really give it about half marks. But those 5 episodes were okay. They didn't blow my socks off, but they were fine. Some of the designs I think need a bit of tweaking. I like Wheeljack's design. Wheeljack's design was quite nice. It had a bit of animated to it. It had a little bit of Prime to it. Yeah, it was quite a good design. Soundwave looked cool, and I think he's there to facilitate the kind of discourse that Prime and Megatron have. But again, that discourse gets solved within that episode, which I'm sure will then come back later.
I mean, they do
hopefully
set
in the
up
season.
like a dude in that one.
Oh yeah. The look, I saw a lot of people freak out when they said it was that character as well, and I saw the reveal and went, oh, okay.
Oh, people freak out when they heard the voice actor.
That too, which is fine, good voice. But
I mean, I'm happy about the voice actor, but
let's not make him a Peter Cullen. Let's everybody else had new voice actors. Maybe get other ones to voice that character as well in the future. I don't know.
Rory McCann voice everyone.
Yes, everyone. He just does everybody. So yeah, Earthspark is not something that I love, and I like. There are a lot of designs I wouldn't mind having toys of. As usual, the most annoying thing is there won't be any decent toys. There'll be at best the deluxes, and that's it. If we could get Voyager scale Megatron or Leader scale Megatron, I think that'd be nice. I'd like I guess deluxe Soundwave would be okay. I think that could happen unless we get Prowl. Lamau.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's not in the show, but that's fine. Yeah, if we could I don't think we're gonna. If we could very quickly pivot and focus away from the humans, that would be great. But I fear that we're gonna keep being pulled back to them, like you say, to be our POV character to learn those lessons. I hope there's a drug episode where Prime's like doing heroin or something like that.
Megatron has to take him to counseling.
Prime, you gotta get help. No, Megatron. One shall sniff, one shall whiff.
Prime comes home. It's like Megatron, Elite, a Bumblebee. They're all sitting in a circle. What is this? This is an intervention, Prime.
We've got to get you committed as he transforms and rolls out. They're dragging him back.
No.
He's got to get detoxed, boys. He's on that Dark Energon. Oh, that's what he's doing. He's crushing Dark Energon, sniffing it. There you go.
You saw me do it and you thought it was cool, but look how that happened.
Oh, well, a minor issue I do have is Dr. Mandroid. How is he producing all of those little spider robots?
Well, when a mommy robot and a daddy robot love each other very much.
Yeah, keep going.
They pay Dr. Mandroid and he produces many robots.
It's an issue it's a thing that I noticed in the fight scene with the last episode where they just keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming. Where do they come from? I know I'm not meant to think about it. I'm just meant to accept that it's just an endless horde of them. But the man is working on a very small budget. He's a very small team. And he's able to produce a lot of tiny robots very quickly. Is that unfair?
I wouldn't say it's unfair. I would not say it's unfair.
It's definitely an element they don't want you thinking about. It's just accept that he has infinite amount of drones, and they're very dangerous. And he's very dangerous as well, which is why the Decepticons, even though they're far bigger than him, are willing to work with him, even though I don't believe that Skywarp and Sun, what was the name?
Nova Storm.
Nova Storm. I do not believe that they couldn't kill him easily.
Assuming they can, and then that won't be because I think one of the toy leaks showed Grimlock and Shockwave were coming.
Yes, and it had her arm, or Nova Storm's
had her arm.
Yeah, we mentioned on the show when
he's
he went
just gonna run off with her arm and go woo. Things like Zoidberg.
He's just gonna become like Autobot X by the end of the show,
I mean, that would be kind of a cool narrative.
It'd be nice to see.
Have become the thing you hate.
I mean, that has to be the end point of his story, right? Like the Doctor, because I think Dr. Arkaville had that kind of story aspect going to him as well. Even though when he was transformed into a robot body, it was an immovable robot body that was stuck to a chair.
He hated Transformers and became a robot because people in wheelchairs are robots. Oh dear.
Yeah, I hope that we switch up the main antagonist for the show, because I'm not a big fan of Dr. Mandroid. I have a feeling the main antagonist, or they're gonna switch it up so Nest is an antagonistic faction that at some point will push Megatron to splitting from the group, right? But the problem is I'm not against Megatron. He does not come across he doesn't come across as the villain or villainous at all. Like if Prime's not careful, he's gonna basically set off the Cybertronian war again, where Megatron's fighting for equality. Again.
It is kind of like freedom is the right of all sentient beings. What are all those people you stuck in a hole?
Yeah, all the Decepticons. None of the Autobots are in the hole, just the Decepticons. Well, they're causing trouble. All of them?
These ones were like, how are they causing trouble? They're being annoying.
Yeah.
Well, that's still trouble.
Like legit, if Prime legit sets off another civil war because of like inequality between the robots, that's gonna be really bad. At least for Prime, right?
Yeah, because he'll have to be the villain.
Yeah. Which would be an interesting twist. If that was the show, if like the kids, if they did actually go down the route of Prime becomes like Nemesis Prime, because he's working with the humans, that could be interesting. Like they reprogram him slightly, make him more antagonistic. Maybe they make him Shattered Glass Prime. That could be interesting. I'd be down for that. It would subvert the usual, right? And we have Megatron as the hero trying to help people out. And I say that because again, he's got the relationship with the family, the human family. So I don't think they will. I think that could be an interesting switch up of things, right? Yeah. Anything else to say on Earthspark, young Mikey?
Nope, that's me on Earthspark.
Yeah, fair play. I haven't been up to much myself. I've been playing more God of Boy, getting through that. Where am I up to? I've killed a few Valkyries, underleveled. Pink was very mean last night. She told me to fight Rota, you know, the one that screams and jumps all the time and goes, "Rah!"
Oh, yeah. That's annoying.
Scream made me fight her at level 5, and apparently I'm meant to, like, you can fight her at 6 or higher was the recommendation. So we spent most of the stream fighting her, and I won eventually. You have to be careful. The Valkyries are basically just like, fight them at the highest level you can. Yeah, it's kind of fun to not, though. It was fun to learn her patterns.
But
I did fight another one that jumped into the air and did like an unblockable AoE screen that blinded you, and I could just tell I couldn't beat that one, so I'm just gonna have to wait to get some better equipment, because that AoE like unblockable attack did too much damage. I couldn't see her, and then she was able to just riggedy wreck me load. So I was like, okay, we'll just wait. In terms of story, Betrayus is a little fucking bitch at the moment. So
no.
Yeah, he's I'm a god. Fuck you, Dad. I'm like, oh, I hate Betrayus at this point.
What do you know about God things, Dad? What do you know? Hey, Dad. Fuck you, Dad.
Yeah,
that is going to go on for a while.
Yeah, we had that bit on the lift yesterday when we were going up, and he's like, so, where'd you get those blades? You kill any gods? And he's just like, boy, for fuck's sake, I'm not in the fucking mood. You're pushing me, boy. You gotta be happy that I'm not in my beating mode. Because I'd beat you. I'd pull your head off like I did, was it Helios?
God, don't ask me. I don't remember.
God of War 3, where he pulled his head off and used it as a lamp.
That
was fun, that game. I liked it. It's kind of stupid, though. But yeah, the gate was where I finished off yesterday in Helheim. You know, we were tussling with Baldur and we got sucked through the gate.
Love that scene where he just like pulls him out of the rock and just lays into him.
Yeah, I just like punching Baldur on the back of a dragon. That's really fun.
That's fun too.
It's just because the animation for it is really good. Like he's just they're stiff punches to the face. Baldur doesn't care. I just wish I could feel anything. Kratos, please. It was Big Swing and D said it was Helios. Oh, thank you. I thought it was the case, but I wasn't sure. We've been playing Spooderman as well. That's been fun. Spooderman. Whereabouts? I've been pretty much every time a side quest pops up, a new side quest, I go around the city doing all of that. So I've pretty much done all the research things, and we did all the Black Cat things. And Black Cat bamboozled poor Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man thinking with his dong again. I don't like Mary Jane in that game.
She's fairly generic.
No, she's mean. You know,
she is mean, but that's very modern Mary Jane.
You know when she's like, you're doing her section in the Fisk Foundation, and she's basically trying to entrap the employee, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of bad. And she's going. One of the specific parts was she looked at samurai armor, and she goes, "History really is just men dressing up in costumes, isn't it?" And I was like, no, it's armor. There's a reason they wore it so they wouldn't die. It's not a costume. It's I want this armor so I don't die because I'm fighting to protect my land, food, and other resources. But okay, I guess costumes is
Phrase
fine.
it like that specifically? Did they say land, food, and other resources?
Well, no, I said that. She just says why history's built on men dressing up in costumes, which is like what a statement to make. It's like, ugh.
She's like, it's just there isn't much to her, which is something I didn't like. Like she's very, I love that game. I think that game's
it's
amazing.
good. Yeah.
Like, but she's very much a tool to get you from point A to point B, and then she's kind of like the prize at the end is that you get to go out with Mary Jane.
It's like but I kind of wish that Gwen Stacy was in there as like a normal lady. Maybe she could be a scientist, and Peter's like, oh, she's working with Otto too. I like her. She's kind of smart, etc., etc. You know, I think I like Gwen more than I do Mary Jane generally.
I don't think Gwen's ever had a permanent character, so it's kind of hard to like or dislike her.
Well, how about when I say like, Gwen, I like Gwen in Spectacular Spider-Man. She's nice there.
Oh yeah, like.
But then that show's really good. So what do I know?
I was kind of like, I don't think I would also say like that's the only place that Gwen exists.
No, yeah, it's true. Because there wasn't Gwen in the '90s show, was there? It was Felicia who kind of
shows up a couple of times in like a ghost thingy.
Felicia kind of facilitates the Gwen Stacy story falling into the Green Goblin portal, though, doesn't she? Yeah. So she's that, and also Black Cat, right?
And like Mary Jane's used in terms in replace of Gwen for like the Clone Saga and stuff like that. Instead of Gwen being cloned, it's Mary Jane who gets cloned and blah blah blah.
You mean in the '90s show? Yeah, that's Hydro-Man does that, doesn't he? He makes a water clone of it. And she just evaporates in front of Peter. Peter's like, oh.
What the fuck?
It's another good old day for Spider-Man. I love my life. Thanks, Uncle Ben. But no, I like that game. I beat Herman, good old Herman, the Shocker. He's fun to beat. I like how he never calls him the Shocker to his face. Keeps calling him Herman. But no, unsurprisingly, it's a fantastic... Did you play Miles Morales? I can't remember. Did you do that?
I haven't played it.
Okay. I need to know if it's worth buying. It's a little bit cheaper, but not massively. It's still like $39.99 on Steam, so I want to know if it's worth picking up or not. I mean, gameplay-wise, it'll be the same, so it'll still be fun, but, you know, in terms of the story, which is what I want to play for, is it good?
I got it for free, so.
Oh, I mean, that's nice too. That's okay. Apart from that, I haven't really watched anything fancy. It's just been watching Deep Space Nine. I accidentally fell into the trap of, I'll just watch one episode of Deep Space Nine. What episode is it? Way of the Warrior. I'll just keep watching. I'll just keep watching. Obviously, I skip some episodes, but it's just like, it's just good.
You said they don't skip Star Trek episodes when they do a rewatch, or I do not believe you.
I mean, fair play to them if they want to watch all of them. But there's some episodes where I'm like, I didn't watch The Visitor because I didn't want to be sad before going to sleep. I didn't want to see old man Jake Sisko die. I was like, no, we'll skip that. It's a very good episode, but I don't want to cry. It's a very good episode. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. But yeah, there's some episodes where I'm like, one episode I deliberately skipped last night was the one where Kira's pregnant and the burnt terrorist Cardassians trying to kill her.
Mm.
Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah,
I was like, it's not awful. It's just like, no thanks. I'll watch the other one instead.
Yeah.
Which was Odo getting the changeling and getting his changeling powers back, which is a good one. I like that one a lot. It's fun. Dr. Mora. Anyway, people in Twitch chat, if you want, you can poop me and Mikey over some questions if you have any for us on anything related. Until we get those in. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet? Oh, you might also have questions as well. I don't know. Do you, Mikey? Do you have questions?
I don't. Not this week.
Oh, okay.
So you can find me on Twitter as Irish Pillow. You can find me on... that's basically it, really.
Oh, no. You need more places.
You can find us on Twitter on Moonbase2 Twitter, Facebook, Libsyn, and everywhere else like that. If you want to contact us, moonbase2@gmail.com. I haven't had time to check the email, basically. So if there are any questions or anything like that backlogged, I will make sure that we get to them. It's just, we'll get them before Christmas. It's just like I have to find the time to sit down and go through it.
Yeah. You've still got work to do, don't you? So that's the thing.
I've got more work tonight. So
Oh, good.
I'm basically finishing this up, making a cup of coffee, spending half an hour like watching something pointless, and then continuing on because there's so much to do before Christmas.
Yay. Yeah.
Andy, what about you?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter as Decayed Andy, as in a decaying corpse. Not 10 years. You can find us on the Moonbase 2 forums, Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes, YouTube, and on YouTube it's Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast. If you're watching us there, well, you already know it. We also do the live recording on Twitch and on YouTube from 8 o'clock in the evening UK time on a Sunday, which is what we're doing right now. And if you want to support the show, you can go over to ccbunker, not ccbunker.weebly.com. That's another way to find us. You can head over to patreon.com/moonbase2, and we just ask for $2 each month. And the comic show goes out early, and the Moonbase Woo Woo goes up on there. And my plan will be, because I've been lacking in Moonbase Woo Woo, I will try and get 3 episodes up before the end of the year. So
I will let you do that.
Yay! Because I gotta do it. It's not fair that I haven't done it. So
I've got a few things I need to cover, but it's going to be time.
Yeah.
By the time I get to being able to do them, it'll be like a couple of days before Christmas.
Well, I don't mind doing that. That's fine. I don't see any questions, so I will thank Mikey for coming on by. Thank you, Mikey. And thank you, chat, for coming as well. Thank you for hanging out with us and listening to our little whiffling and talking.
Excellent.
And until next time, everybody, me and Mikey will catch you next time. I don't know if we'll have any Transformers news. Hopefully there'll be something coming out, though. Until then, bye-bye, everybody!
Nerds.
Yeah!